Layla Tusak caught up with Tim Minchin for this story.
It's a lot of fun and it's difficult because you have to take huge leaps throughout the play. It's only 2 hours of time, but it covers 10 years.
When the curtains rise on Amadeus next week at His Majesty's Theatre, Tim Minchin will be in his element, playing the great composer himself. Better known for his own piano prowess, wild hair and cheeky tunes, he's loving the challenge of acting once again.
Are there things about Mozart, the character, that you connect with personally?
When you're coming up through an industry like the arts where it's so competitive and you often feel like there are doors slammed in your face, I guess I can transfer some of that experience to what it must be like for a young guy who, you know, in his head he knew that he was great. You know, he had a big ego and stuff, but he was coming up against this structure of the Viennese court.
At 30 years old, Perth-born Tim Minchin knows what it's like to have doors slammed in his face. He started out composing music for documentaries and theatre with some success. Then he tried to get his band, Timmy the Dog, off the ground. When Stateline spoke to him 5 years ago, he'd just released his first CD.
Tim Minchin recorded the new album in his Subiaco home.
Sadly, the band did not take off. But he was not deterred. After only one professional acting job, he headed to Melbourne.
I felt really confident, and so I went to Melbourne and tried to get work there and really struggled for 2 or 3 years. And I had my original band project and that was going okay, but you're just playing in empty pubs and it's noisy, and I was just frustrated by that, and I wasn't getting any acting work at all. I couldn't get an agent for a year.
So, how you dudes doing? Hallelujah.
Until finally his comedy routine was a hit.
Right, I'm pumped now.
And out of all that frustration, I thought, well, bugger this, no one's taking any notice of me. I'm just going to put, because I've always gone, well, I'm good at these things and maybe I'm not the best at them all, but together I'm, you know, pretty cool. So I put everything together and did this solo show. And since then, I've just basically done nothing else.
Hello. Welcome to my show.
His routines are definitely unique.
The more you drink, the better I will be.
A bit like stand-up comedy, a bit like cabaret. He sings, he plays the piano, guitar, even imaginary instruments. And his tunes, with their cheeky, outrageous themes, are packed with satire and irony.
Has built a demagoguery and taught us to be fearful and boring.
Last year was a big one for Tim Minchin. He won a swag of awards at Melbourne's Comedy Festival, took out the Best Newcomer award at Edinburgh Festival and performed at London's Royal Albert Hall.
Yoga master or completely inelastic. I'm not trying to be ironic or sarcastic. Do something drastic to rid the world of plastic. Your cameras failed.
His success is an inspiration, simply because he's had so little formal training in music or acting.
Blackout, yeah!
Arguably, my lack of acting training might have left me lacking certain skills. My lack of music training has left me lacking certain skills. My lack of comedic heritage or any understanding at all of what comedy is probably leaves me lacking certain things. However, the absence of all those structures probably also adds something, you know, and I work really hard at all those things, so even if I lack stuff, maybe the absence of too much formality brings something else.
And that it obviously does. So much so that agents are now beckoning Tim Minchin overseas. Within hours of slipping out of his Mozart costume, Tim Minchin will be boarding a plane to the Comedy Festival in Montreal. Then it's to London, where he plans to live with his partner Sarah and their baby on the way. He says despite everything else, making time for Amadeus was important.
At the moment, what's really taken off for me is the comedy, and that's really great, and I hope that opens up lots of opportunities for me. I also hope that doesn't mean I'm going to be trapped into doing that one thing, which is what doing this show is about, is going, okay, that's all going well, but we're just going to take a couple of months off and do a theatre piece.
He also wants to write a book and a musical. And while many of us have those sorts of ambitions, not so many actually pull it off. But somehow, when Tim Minchin says it, you believe him.
Sometimes I think you're deluded. Just because you've done well in one area doesn't mean you can do all this other stuff and you're going to come down with a bang at some stage. But I sort of feel like it doesn't really matter. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be crap at everything, but I'll give it a bash.
Nothing can stop our love except terminal illness or sudden accidental death.
Just for the first time really now, I'm 30, and it's only now that I think, oh, maybe I'll be allowed to do this for my life. You know, I've gone, oh, it looks like I might be able to do it.